it's me, the cookbook lady. Welcome back to my kitchen, y'all. When you guys see this video, it'll be January 1st. So let me start off by wishing every single one of you a happy new year. However, today it's Christmas Eve and I'm a little bit busy prepping for Christmas tomorrow. I was asked by my best friend Tara to bring several items to her Christmas gathering. One of those being cookies. I have been loving this cookbook right here, and while I was browsing through it looking for ideas on what I could bake, I actually saw a chocolate chip recipe that was very similar to my own, like just only two differences, I think, between the two of them. So I would like to test this recipe out and compare it to my own personal cookies and see which one I prefer. If you would like to try this recipe for yourself, you can find it written down below in the description box of this video. To get this recipe going, I'm adding my sugars, shortening, and eggs into my mixing bowl. And with my hand mixer, I'm going to cream them together. Next, I'm adding the baking soda, vanilla, and salt and mixing together again. Then I'll start adding in my 3 cups of flour gradually until our dough has formed. Finally, with a spatula, I'm folding in the chocolate chips. With my cookie scoop, I'm going to drop these on parchment-lined baking sheets and bake them in a 350 degrees Fahrenheit oven until done. My own personal recipe normally takes 10 to 12 minutes depending on the size of cookies I'm making, so I'll use this as my baking time here. Okay friends, it has come to the time of the video where we do a taste test. So, I can already tell there's some major differences between my recipe and this recipe, even though they're kind of similar. For starters, all over the outer edge, the surface of the cookie is very crispy. Yeah, it's got like a good crust to it. But just like my recipe though, the insides, I don't know how well this camera's gonna pick it up, but the insides of them seem to be rather soft. So, let's give them a taste. Okay, so let me go ahead and tell y'all the two main differences between this recipe and my own personal recipe. My own personal recipe, I used sweet cream salted butter. I actually use real butter in my chocolate chip cookie recipe. And also, I don't pre-beat my eggs. I actually add them in one at a time, mixing them. So this recipe, obviously we're using shortening. I used the Crisco butter flavored shortening. And then also this recipe calls that you pre-beat your eggs before adding it into the mixture. I don't think the eggs would be too much of a difference in the recipe, but I think the shortening definitely affects it more overall. Now, the one thing that I've claimed that has been the secret to my recipe is the fact that the baking soda, you dissolve that into warm water. So I was surprised to see that in another recipe. Overall, I would say great cookie recipe, like great chocolate chip cookie recipe. Do I prefer this over my own personal recipe? No, I don't. I think using real butter adds a different kind of flavor to your cookie. And I'm just not getting that with these. Also, another thing that I noticed is that these cookies in particular puff up quite a bit, whereas my cookies kind of spread out a little bit, but they still have a little bit of thickness to them. They're not like completely flat. So how does this particular recipe measure up? Overall, I think I would give this recipe 4 out of 5 stars. This is a pretty banging chocolate chip recipe. Like I said, the only thing different is that there's just not as much of a buttery flavor as if I were to have used real butter, and I think that's really the only difference in this recipe. Anyways, my friends, I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did happen to, how about showing it a little love by hitting that thumbs up button? And if you happen to like the vibe here on my channel, consider becoming a subscriber. I'd love for you to join the family, and I wouldn't want you to miss the next culinary adventure. Also, how are all of my friends out there doing? I would love to get to know each and every single one of you. So I hope to see some of y'all in the comments down below. Until next time, y'all be safe out there and be sweet to one another. Bye, y'all!